Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life. Hey guys, it's Peter. Is that how I started? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life, and just little things that I've learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. This is like my fourth video that I've done today, so each channel has a different intro, you know? So it has been such a great day. I've just had such a wonderful day today. It is so beautiful outside. My husband got off work early today, and he got to hang out with his friend for a little bit. And I'm just going to relax this weekend. I'm so excited. I am reading 2 books right now at the same time, and I'm loving both books. Actually, I'm reading 3 books right now at the same time. I'm listening to 2 different audiobooks, and I'm reading a physical book. And it's just a good day. It's a calm day. It's peaceful. It's serene, and who could ask for more, right? So anyway, I went and I got my coffee, and I sat down, and I was like, I'm gonna make some videos today, and I just had such a great day. Before I get into this, I do want to send out a happy birthday. I've never done this on this channel before, but Tabby Tucker, hey Tabby, happy birthday. She specifically asked me for a happy birthday on this channel, and that like really warmed my heart. I actually gave her a shout out on my Monn channel too, but I don't know why. It just really warmed my heart that she specifically asked for a shout out on this channel. You know, each of my channels, people ask me all the time, like, which one's your favorite channel? It's really hard. It's like if you have 5 friends, like, which one's your best friend or favorite friend or whatever. You know, you have different feelings towards each friend for different reasons. And each channel that I have, like, resonates with me in a different way. And, you know, this channel I love because this is kind of like the recovery piece of Peter that, like, sits here and just reads a meditation and shares it with you guys, or, you know, that's that part of me, or it's a part of me that's like driving around in a car with my best friend telling a story about my life. And so it's kind of like a shorter version of my vlog to some degree, except for that I don't read meditations on my vlogs. Well, I have a couple times, but not often, you know. And so I love this channel so much. And what's so weird, okay, is that when people come up to me, this is the channel that people come up to me typically about. This or the book channel. It's always those 2 channels that people stop me and they're like, oh my God. Now my husband gets stopped a lot, and people will be like, I know, I watch I watch your husband Peter Monn on his Peter Monn channel, but rarely does that happen to me. People come up to me from this channel, and it's happened to me all over the country, which is really cool to think that me just sitting here and reading a meditation from a book that, you know, somebody gave me for my wedding, but that you can get at Meijer or Walmart or online or whatever, you know, just some simple meditation book, and me sharing how I respond to that or how I react to that, you know, that affects somebody down the road in another city across the world. Like, that is such a cool thing to me. And so I guess what I would say is, you know, pass it on. Like, if you learn something from any meditation, I don't know, you don't have to, don't credit me. I don't really care about that. You know, it's none of these things I say on here are original ideas anyway. But, you know, like, if I'm talking about a meditation, and the meditation we're going to talk about, you know, miracles today in one of the meditations, and I believe that we're all miracles. I really do believe that, you know, that every day that we are given is another day for another chance for a miracle. And, you know, just to, I don't know, take a line that you like, something that I said, and put it on your Facebook, and just, you know, put like, hey, we're all miracles today, you know, something like that. You just share it with the world. You don't have to share who I am or I don't really care about all that kind of stuff, but pass on what you've heard that resonates with you, because one of the reasons why this channel means so much to me is that so many people consistently in the comment section say, like, hey, I really needed to hear this today, or thank you so much, you don't know like how this impacted me and whatever. And what's interesting to me about that is they're not my words, they're meditations. You know, I mean, sometimes it's my words. I got a really nice message last night from somebody about my vegetarian video that I did yesterday, and I have to tell you, I was a little hesitant to make that video. You know, within the YouTube community, there are vegetarians and vegans take their diets very seriously, you know, and I think sometimes you have to be careful. You don't want to like offend people and things like that, and I didn't want to do that in that video, but at the same time I wanted to share my truth. And you know, this woman reached out to me, and I will leave her nameless, but she left me a really wonderful message on Instagram, and she was like, you know, I'm 6 months a vegetarian, and thank you so much, you really inspired me to like just keep it up and keep going. And that's just by sharing my story, your story. And I don't talk about stories on here that much anymore. You know, at one point I was going to start a channel called The Storytellers, and I was going to have other people share their stories, and I just didn't really feel like it was the right time for me to start yet another channel at that point. And I went in a different direction. People ask me all the time, they're like, why didn't you start that channel? Just, I wanted to do something different, so I did the review channel instead. And but you know, like, everybody out there has a story. You have a story. I don't care if your story is that, you know, like you're an attorney and that you busted your butt going through law school and, you know, whatever, and you raised 3 kids alone as a single mother or as a single father. I don't care if your story is that you're a, you know, a greeter at Walmart and all the people that you meet. I don't care if you're greeter. I don't care if your story is that you're a stay-at-home mom, you know, or dad, or that you're a grandma or grandpa, and I don't know what your story is, you know. I don't care if your story is that, you know, I got this message from somebody else too that said, she probably doesn't watch this channel, but she said, my daughter is starting her senior year in high school, and would you, like, you know, shout her out? And her daughter's name is Caroline, and I sent a message back, and I'd already made my video for that day, but I said, you know, like, you can accomplish any of your dreams. Like, this is just the beginning. Don't ever forget that. I said something like that. It takes 2 seconds. And, like, listen, I get so many messages from people. I try so hard to respond to as many people as I can, and it's really, really hard, you know? I literally could probably just sit here. But, I mean, isn't that magnificent that enough people want to reach out to me and say hi? I mean, that is a blessing in its own, and I just want to thank you guys for that. Even if I've never, you know, responded to you, I just want you to know it. It really, really means a lot to me. That somebody out there cares to hear what I have to say. There was a time when nobody really cared to hear what I had to say, and that means a lot to me today, you know? I think that no matter who you are, and I'm not talking about you have to be a YouTuber or, I don't know, a politician or a motivational speaker or an actress, somebody that's in the public eye speaking, okay, but who you are, your voice is important. What you have to say matters, and it should matter to you enough that you care enough that somebody else hears it and hears what you have to say. Sometimes we are silenced in our own families. Sometimes we are silenced in our own relationships. Sometimes we are silenced in our own friendships, you know? And to find our voice is really, really important. And that would be one thing that I would say if anybody asked me, like, you know, what is your motivation for this channel? My motivation would be that it took me a really, really long time to be able to hold my head up high. My sponsor used to say this to me all the time. I would walk into a room and I would always look down at the floor because I had no confidence. And he would say, you hold your head up high because today you are a person of character. No matter what anybody else says, no matter what anybody else does, today you are a person of character, and you know that. And there's a way to rectify the things that you know, like in your life, the 12 steps. And, you know, I think about that, and I think about the fact that I'm important. My story is important, my voice is important, and what I have to say, and, you know, my personal life to the people in my life is important as well. And I don't have tons of people in my life today, and I don't really care, because the people that I have in my life, I am important to them. And that is really, at the end of the day, really all that matters to me, you know? I don't need tons and tons of people in my life, and we're gonna talk about this in just a second, but I just wanted to say that, you know, and I wanted to say that I love this channel so much, and I'm 8 minutes in and I still haven't even got to it, but thank you so much, you guys, for watching on a daily basis. And the nice comments and the likes and everything that you guys give me and sending me messages, it just really means a lot to me. So, Tabby, I hope you have the most amazing birthday of your entire life, unless you have other plans. But don't have other plans. Say, this is going to be the best birthday I ever had. Okay, let's get into the first meditation today. You know what? I read the wrong meditation earlier. Maybe that was a God thing. Well, I'm going to read August 5th. I hope on August 5th I don't read this one again. But it is called The Potential of Miracles. And the quote is by Shirley MacLaine, who's kind of wackadoodle, but I've always loved Shirley MacLaine. I don't even know, is she still alive? I don't even know. I think she is, isn't she? I'm in love with the potential of miracles. For me, the safest place is out on a limb. Miracles happen more often than we think, but we have to be open to their possibilities to experience them. Accepting the possibilities of miracles involves taking some risks. We can't find our true calling if we don't risk being rejected. We can't fall in love if we're not willing to risk being hurt. We can't make a difference in the lives of others if we're afraid to take a chance or make a sacrifice. I'll keep my eyes open for any miracles that may come my way if I let them. And you know, I think in response to what I was saying earlier too, you know, find your voice. Have something to say, stand up for yourself. And I will tell you this, okay, just because sometimes people take out of context what I'm saying. If you're in an abusive situation, you need to seek professional help before doing that. But other than that, if you're just in a normal situation where you feel like, my mom never listens to me, you know, or, you know, my wife never listens to me, or, you know, my girlfriend never listens to me, or my boyfriend never listens to me, or my best friend, like, never listens to me, you know? I don't feel that way today, but I will tell you there have been many times in my life that I had felt that way. And there were many times in my life that people that I had in my life felt that I wasn't listening to them, and that I was not validating their existence, and that I was not validating their importance, and that I talked a lot about myself. That is something I have worked so hard on this year, is to take the focus off of selfishness and self-centeredness and focus it on other people. I'm just not, like, I'm important, I'm not that important. You know, that when I'm talking to somebody, it's about them too, you know, and I have to remember that. And, you know, unfortunately, it's affected some friendships in my life. It's affected some relationships in my life. And like I say, I try to be a better person on a daily basis. And so, you know, that's one huge thing that I'm working on. So when you are being open to finding your voice, be open to other people, like, telling you about your voice, you know, about your part in that too. Because I think that's we always have a part in something, you know what I mean? It's a great meditation. And, you know, it's kind of a recovery idea that we're all miracles if we're still here, because, you know, many of us shouldn't be here. I don't know. I sometimes wonder what would have happened had I never got sober. You know, I said it to my dad actually not too long ago. I don't know if I shared this in a vlog or not, but my dad and I, we went out to lunch and I was talking to him around my birthday, and I said to him, you know, sometimes wonder what would have happened if I hadn't got sober. And he said, you would be dead. I mean, no hesitation. He was like, you would be dead. And I was like, do you really believe that? He was like, absolutely, Peter. Like, and I still think, like, looking back, as bad as I know it was, like, I don't think I ever saw it the way that he saw it. You know what I mean? Like, he saw it 10 times worse, because he saw it for what it really was, you know, as a person that was like a bystander and affected by that. And the fact that I'm here today is a miracle. I mean, it truly, truly, truly is. And it's a miracle that I do not take for granted today. You know, in my prayers every day and at night, I always, the first 3 things I say in my gratitude list is that I'm grateful for my life, I'm grateful for my health, and I'm grateful for my sobriety. Those are the first 3 things that I say every single day. And every day that I get up and I have another day that I've been given here on earth is a total true miracle to me. It is absolutely a miracle. So it's, what are you going to do with your miracle? You know what I mean? What are you going to do with it then? You know, like, this is your life. Your life is a miracle, and you have to see it that way. There have been many times in my life when I've been so down that if you had looked at me and said your life is a miracle, I would have said, piss off. You know, I don't want to hear it. Like, you don't know my life. And I think that when we're really, you know, having hard times, going through struggles, that, like, you know, to have somebody tell us that, it's like hard. You don't really want to hear that. And I think sometimes that's hard when it's like they're right in our face and they're saying, you know, like, you're a miracle, you're still here, you know, like, don't let go. And I did a video the other day and I talked about never giving up, and I believe in that, you know, as well. So, okay. The next meditation is from The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty. Now, I have done this book for 2 years now, so I am probably repeating some meditations, but I don't care. This one is so good. But I actually did a meditation last year, and I called it, like, In Between. So I've learned a lot in a year. My life is not the same as it was a year ago. I probably did a video and responded to this exact same meditation, but I think it's such a fantastic meditation, and new people have found my channel that I'm going to read it again. And I'll probably say completely different things. I may even contradict myself. I don't know. So anyway, In Between, August 2nd. At least I got the date right this time, right? Sometimes to get from where we are to where we are going, we have to be willing to be in between. One of the hardest parts isn't the in between what they call in Stranger Things. Anyway, I love that show so much. One of the hardest parts of recovery is the concept of letting go of what is old and familiar, but what we don't want, and being willing to stand with our hands empty while we wait for God to fill them. This may apply to feelings. We may have been full of hurt and anger. In some ways, these feelings may have become comfortably familiar. That's the part where I'm talking about, like, we enjoy chaos and toxicity and anger and resentment more than we enjoy peace and serenity. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's more comfortable to be angry than it is to let go of all that anger and resentment and be peaceful and serene. It's almost like it's driving you. It's almost like fuel. Okay, when we finally face and relinquish our grief, in some ways, these feelings may have become comfortably familiar. When we finally face and relinquish our grief, we may feel empty for a time. We are in between pain and the joy of serenity and acceptance. I want to say this because I think this is important. And I love this meditation when I read it outside. I was reading it outside earlier. That, you know, I was taught earlier, I read a book, or I don't know, I saw something, and they were talking about, I don't remember what it was. I think it was actually a book called Transitions. My mother may have given it to me, but it's about the fact that we go through like 8 or 9 transitions in our lives. They can be career transitions, they can be personal transitions, they can be relationship transitions, but we go through major transitions in our life where literally from one day to the next we change. We're not the same person that we were, or over a period of time we change, you know? And often when we are working on becoming new people, a person that we were different from, or becoming a different person than we were, let's say, a month ago or a year ago or yesterday, right? It feels very in between. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like we're like have a foot, like if you imagine like, you know, planets, or not planets, but like continents shifting, right? It's like you have a foot on one and a foot on the other, and it's like going apart. It's like, that's how it feels. It's like, I don't feel comfortable. Like, I'm not in the new yet, and I'm not out of the old. I don't feel comfortable in this, right? That's what it's like. It's like no stable ground if you've been there. We are in between pain and the joy of serenity and acceptance. Being in between can apply to relationships. To prepare ourselves for the new, we need to first let go of the old. This can be frightening. We may feel empty and lost for a time. We may feel all alone, wondering what is wrong with us for letting go of the proverbial bird in hand when there is nothing in the bush. Being in between can apply to many areas of life and recovery. We can be in between jobs, careers, homes, or goals. We can be in between behaviors as we let go of the old and are not certain what we will replace it with. This can apply to behaviors that have protected and served us well all of our life, such as caretaking and controlling. We may have many feelings going on when we're in between, spurts of grief about what we have let go of or lost, and feelings of anxiety, fear, and apprehension about what's ahead. These are normal feelings for the in-between place. Accept them, feel them, and release them. Release them. Being in between isn't fun, but it's necessary. It will not last forever. It may feel like we're standing still, but we're not. We're standing at the in-between place. It's how we get from here to there. It is not the destination. We are moving forward, even when we're in between. Today I will accept where I am as the ideal place for me to be. If I am in between, I will strive for the faith that this place is not without purpose, that it is moving me towards something good. I love that meditation. I really, really do, because I think it's so important, you know, for any of us just to learn that in life, that you're going to go through transitions. There's going to be really, really difficult parts of your life, you know. And I think if you've ever moved, you know, if you've ever moved from like an apartment to an apartment, or apartment to a house, there's like when you move in, there's like excitement at first, you know, of wanting to do it, and then there's also the part of well, here's an interesting story. So you know, back in the day I had this office, right? And it was like the first office that I had ever had. And I really had a hard time letting go of this office. The guy that owned the building, he was letting the building go. And so I had to find a new place. And like I had to move out literally like in a day. I like waited till the very, very last minute because I did not want to leave this place. Like there was so much history there, and it was a period of my life, right, that I was in this office. And I even remember when like I used to tell the story and I would just like bawl, right? I remember when I had to go give him the key because I had like moved everything literally 2 blocks or something, right? I found this other office, but I didn't like this new office. I didn't want to be there. There was, you know, I didn't want anything to do with this office. I just wasn't enjoying it. And it was a nice office. It is a nice office. But I still have it over there even though I don't do anything with it. I go over there and read sometimes. I'm like, why do I keep this place, you know? But anyway, but I was, you know, like I didn't want to let go of the past. And I remember when I handed him the key after I moved out that night, and I wanted to have this real emotional night, you know, like I wanted to move stuff over slowly. Alex was going to help me. It was about a year of us being together. And, you know, he said to me, we got tickets to go see Maroon 5, and Alex loves Maroon 5. And so he wanted to go see. We were there like second row seats too. And I was like, no, I'm just going to move this furniture. And he goes, well, why don't we move part of it, and then we can go to the concert, and then we can probably get it all done before the concert. And then we can come back if you want to finish stuff up. And I really wanted to have like one of these sorrowful, sad nights, right? Well, we started moving stuff and we got it done. And I remember driving over and meeting my landlord and handing him the key. And I'll never forget, I had been there for a while, and I remember I handed him the key, and he looked at me and he goes, we've had a good run, haven't we? And I just was like, I was like, and I got in my car and I started bawling my eyes out, you know? I wasn't ready to let go of that old office, that old space, and it really was nothing about the space. I have such huge attachment issues to places, which is why I'm still holding on to this office. But anyway, you know, like, but I remember it was like a couple weeks later, and I was at the new place, and I was standing there, and it's like on the second floor, and it like looks out over all the restaurants and stuff, and I had the windows open, and it was like early fall, I think, and there was like this art gallery walk, wine and walk going on, and I could hear all the voices, and it was like low lit in my office, and all of a sudden it felt like it became this new place, you know? And I hated it. I did not want to go there at all, and it became like this New York kind of like, I don't know, like it just became this very cool place to me, you know, like this Soho loft kind of place. And all of a sudden fell in love with it. And it was literally like I walked out that night and I could care less about that old office. I was so done with that old office, right? And all of a sudden I saw it for what it was. I saw all the misery with it, and I saw the, you know, the all of it, you know? And the new office was the place that I wanted to be, and it changed. But I was in transition in that in the middle of that. And I needed to feel those feelings, you know? And I really, really needed to feel those moments. And I needed my husband too to push me through a little bit and be like, no, we're gonna go do this concert, this will be good, you know? Well, and we had such a great time. We had such a great time at that concert, you know? I remember we're right there next to Adam Levine. But anyway, you know, transition times are hard. And I think, like, I feel like in the last 30 years of my life, I don't know when I've not been in a transition point at some point in my life. Like, there's always something that I'm in transition. So I think I've gotten kind of used to it at this point, you know? But I think it's about feeling your feelings. It's about allowing yourself, you know, to feel whatever is going on with you. I think it's also about identifying that we don't just grieve the loss of people or pets. We also grieve the loss of situations, the loss of places, the loss of just things in our lives, you know, like just times in our lives. Have you ever grieved a time period, like high school, college, or like an era of your life? I know I have. I think I probably grieve eras of my life more than I've actually grieved some people and some things that I probably should have grieved more, you know, because I knew that it would never be back to that again. So it's about knowing that, it's about trusting the process too, and trusting the journey to know that you're going to be okay on the other side. You're going to be just fine. You know, you're going through it right now. You're going through a move. Maybe you're downsizing and you're moving, you know, like, I don't know, maybe you got divorced and you're moving out of a house into an apartment. And you're like, my life is crap. I don't want this. You don't know. Hey, you've got a cute new little apartment. You can make it all yours. You get to reinvent yourself. You get to start over, you know? And I know it's sad. I know you're going through a really hard time. We've all like gone through really tough times like that, but you're going to be okay. You are going to be okay. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.